Hello everyone, welcome to part 4 of lesson 3.1. Here we're going to take a look at our lab for this week. And so as you already know, the lab for this week is drawing shapes again. So in this lab, you'll write a code to draw regular polygons, but this time you'll write custom blocks and abstraction to write more efficient code. So some of the simple changes that you want to do is write a snap script or find one you have already written to draw a square and an equilateral triangle, a regular pentagon and a regular octagon. So first of all, you need to have these things ready. Now you're going to look over the four programs from above, like the code for all four of these, and try to find something similar. Like if you're drawing a triangle, you have three sides. Maybe if you're drawing a square, you have four sides. So what are the things that are changing and how they relate with each other? So if you can find some kind of pattern, that's what you're trying to do over here. After you find something similar, you can see the sections that you might be able to abstract into a separate block. So you're going to create that. Now you're going to take your script from above and draw a square and turn it into a custom block. We saw that demo, so you can do that for your triangles and pentagons and octagons. Now modify your custom block to use variable for the number of sides instead of number 4. Set that variable to 4 so that you still draw a square. So instead of creating different type of custom blocks that says draw a square or draw triangle or draw a pentagon, you're going to create one custom block that where you can give the number of sides. For example, if you want to create a triangle, you'd give it number 3. If you're trying to create a square, you'll give it a number 4, and so on and so on. So you're going to create that kind of custom block where the input would be the number of sides from which the shape will be drawn. Now see if you can modify your block so that it will work correctly for any number of sides greater than 2. So you can try to make it for any n numbers. So maybe if you want to draw 10 or 10 sides polygon, you can do that. And look closely at the angles in your for script in section 1, see if you can spot a pattern. So for this, you can probably take a look at the number of sides and the angle you are changing and find some kind of relation between the number of sides and the angle that you need to turn to make that shape. Now you can use your custom block in program that asks user for a number and then draws a regular polygon with that many sides. And if the number is given is less than 3, give an error message and do not draw anything. You can probably use a if block to see if your answer or if your answer is less than 3, and just use a say blocker to give an error. Now if you want to do something extra, you could for the bonus you can actually add another input to your custom block that asks for the length of the sides, which we saw in our demo. So you can add also the length to make sure that your polygons are of the length that the user provide. So the sides of the polygon are of length that the user provide. Now here's the grading rubric for your program. So you need to make sure that you have these things in your program. First of all, you need to create a custom block that draws a square and then use variable for the number of sides, and it should work for all sides greater than 2. So you cannot have a 2-side polygon, but you can have any n side polygons greater than 2. So your program should ask for sides, use a call block for this, and calls the block for the drawing the polygons. And then if your program handles input less than 2, that's a extra that's another half point. And for the bonus program, you have half point that handles the size of the sides, and your code should be clear and concise. So that's for the lab, and if you have any problems, you can use the class time to ask me or any of the other volunteers about any problems you have. We'll be glad to help you with any problems. Now let's take a look at our Now let's take a look at what we learned in this lesson and go to our exit ticket. So we have already gone through the drawing shapes, and finally, talk to your neighbors and see if there are any differences in your solutions or in your custom block, and also try to see why a custom block is helpful or how it makes things easier for you. And in today's lesson, let's re- rewind and see what we learned today. So in today's lesson, we learned about abstraction and generalization, and we saw different examples of how they are used and why they are used. We also saw custom block, so how to create a custom block, different type of custom blocks, command block, reporter block, and the predicate blocks. And we saw drawing labs again, so we took a look at how to make a custom block to create squares of variable length side. Now for your exit ticket, in your notebook, answer the following questions. What is an abstraction? What is a generalization? What are some of the challenges that you ran into when you create a custom block? And finally, share what you were having trouble with when creating custom blocks. So for these two, what is abstraction and generalization, you can create your own definition from what you understood from the lesson and try to compare it with the definition in Wikipedia